Hey guys, this is Eric B. Horn here with another episode of Ask Eric B. Today's question is, could you befriend someone who treats you unprofessionally at work? Now, clearly, this is a situation actually that happened with me when I first started my professional career. I had a guy who was quote unquote breaking me in at work, and I was the low person on the totem pole. So he felt that he could rag me and haze me and things of that nature just so I would fit in at work. But when it got to a point where I rose above all of the unprofessionalism, so to speak, he started to gain a better understanding of who I am as a person, and I had thick skin, and what he was doing was very, very unprofessional. It got to the point where I stood up for myself in a professional manner and let him know that I don't care if you have been working for this company for X amount of years. This is very unprofessional and you need to stop. So once it got to that point, he wanted to get to know me a little bit better and befriend me. And I clearly stayed away from him because I knew for a fact that what he was doing was unhealthy, and it was to the point where he thought it was okay and he started to do it to someone else. So based off of my opinion and reading this question, I say that it's clearly not okay to befriend someone who treats you unprofessionally at work. And based off of that answer, I have four supporting points that will give you a better understanding of why I said no. Don't get me wrong. To the majority of people, it's clear you can't befriend someone who treats you in a non-professional way. It doesn't work. But then you do have some people out there that always see the good in people, and they would go down that road till it gets to a point where they feel like they've been pushed to a point where it wasn't healthy from the very, very beginning. So with that being said, let's start with point one, and that's you clearly see their personality. And one of my mentors, when I first started working, told me how people show up at work is exactly the same way they show up in life or on a personal level. So clearly, if this person is treating you unprofessionally, don't think just because you are outside the workplace that it will get better. And a lot of times it will get worse, because if you befriend someone, you see another side of them more from the personal standpoint, as opposed to just seeing what they're about from a 9 to 5 or 8 to 4. You know, when you befriend someone, you know more about them, just more about them outside of their work. So if someone treats you unprofessionally at work, and that's just one particular parameter, if you give them the space and opportunity to know more about you, they're going to find some way to treat you unprofessionally outside or disrespect you. And that's the situation that you don't want to get into. Number two, after the fact that you wouldn't want to befriend someone, keep your boundaries. Don't get me wrong. People say no to other people all the time, but you have some individuals that would quote unquote take the chance to reach out to you and to befriend you. And if you say no, which you should do, sometimes they take it personal. And with that, they'll try to do other things that may try to get under your skin or try to put you in a position where you feel uncomfortable at work. So when you are at work, keep those boundaries. Hey, I have a job to do. You have a job to do. Let's work together to get the job done. But when it's time to go, it's time to go. So you definitely don't want to not befriend someone and still let them closer into your boundaries, because somehow, some way they will do their best to try to take advantage of that. Number three, remain cordial. Once again, even though you haven't befriended this person, one of your main attributes at work is to always remain professional, even when it comes to situations where the other person is completely unprofessional. You still want to be calm, keep your cool, keep your head. And if the situation escalates, figure out what you need to do to resolve the issue, but not sink down to their level. One of the things that I used to do is, if there was a situation where the person was acting unprofessional, I would rise above that. In any event that the situation would escalate, I'll definitely keep a record of what's going on, what was said. So any event that I did have to go to HR or just go to someone for some advice, I just want to make sure that I had the best understanding of what specifically happened, the time that it happened, the date that it happened, just so I know I have all my ducks in a row. So any event that something did escalate, I had all the evidence that I needed in front of me to move forward. And actually that was number 4, maintain a record. In corporate America, you want to remove away from the he say, she say. In this day and age, anytime you would want to address a situation, whether it's going to your boss or going to HR or maybe even going to an outside organization that can help, you definitely want to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. A lot of these organizations, they see stuff like this all the time. It's just based off of what they said. Not taking anything away from what they're saying. What they say may be very, very valid, but at the same time, they want to make sure that all of their ducks are in a row and you have it organized in the way where your complaint or your particular issue isn't just he say, she say, because they will pick that apart. So to recap, any event that where it's not healthy for you to befriend someone who treats you unprofessionally at work, in any event that does happen, look at their personality. Once again, how they show up at work is how they show up outside of work. So you definitely want to take a step back and observe who this person is as an individual. And if they're unprofessional in one space, 9 times out of 10, they're unprofessional in another space. Number 2, keep your boundaries. In the event that you do not befriend someone, you still want to remain professional, and you want to make sure that, you stay on one side of the fence and the other person stays on the other side of the fence, because you don't want to get to the point where the situation will escalate to the point the work will get affected, because then not only will you get in trouble, but also the other individual, because at the end of the day, corporate America doesn't really care about these type of situations. That they want to make sure that the work gets done. Number 3, remain cordial. One of your main attributes, once again, is to remain very, very professional in your place of work. And number 4, any event that the situation does escalate, make sure you maintain a record of what's going on. So any event that you do have to go to your boss or go to HR or outside organization, you want to make sure that all your paperwork is in order. So I want to say thank you for this question. If anyone out there has a career question that's with regards to this particular situation or anything in general, and you wanted me to answer that question, please submit your questions to info@ericbhorn.com. Once again, that's info, INFO, @ericbhorn.com. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.